resumed.
Hello, internets. This is BoneCarlos and Knob coming to you live from Whirlwind to bring in the shoutcast kind of thing. How you doing over there, buddy?
I'm doing good.
Awesome. The players today are going to be Legion, spawning as the Red Terran. He's actually picked a random spawn Terran. His opponent is going to be Pref, spawning as the Blue Protoss. So good old PvT. Both these players are gold level play. Or gold leaguers, so expect some crazy shenanigans, maybe some standard, maybe not, and hopefully we just have a good game overall. We just casted a PvT. Now what we did cast was a Masters level play, and that was a pretty epic game, showcasing both of the strengths and weaknesses of each race. Hopefully we see some shenanigans. What do you think?
Honestly, I mean, I feel like with random involved in any matchup, it's always gonna have some shenanigans, you know, like I myself tend to cheese randoms.
I see. Now, as a Terran, what do you use for cheese?
It really depends. I mean, even with Zerg, I've been known to dust off a 4 Thor +1 armor Marine all-in, Protoss. Pretty much anything I do, I feel like is kind of semi-cheese. I feel like the hammer build's even kind of cheesy a little bit. It's been getting some hate lately. Or I haven't tried a Thor Rush in a little bit, but mainly because lately I've noticed a lot of Protosses are stopping like the cheesy double gas Dark Templars or Oracles and are just opening Mothership Core expansions.
And speaking of cheese, I have a feeling it's coming. Pref Legion did not build a barracks at his base, and he's just scouting around, stocking up those minerals. Unless he goes command center first, this could be interesting. And he is going command center first. Oh, well, the cheekiness.
Well, at this point, though, if your standard barracks goes down about 139, 140, so if he wouldn't have had a barracks down by now, and he was putting one down as a proxy, he would not be in a good place.
Well, now it looks like Pref sees this, immediately starts nibbling away at the SCV. Barracks is being built. This SCV actually forced to stop, halt construction, and then in the second SCV is going to go ahead and take over for his buddy, but the probe immediately goes after that SCV. Two more are going to go down there to shoo away this pesky probe. Oh, I love the shenanigans in a PvT.
Yep, I knew this was going to be shenanigan. Oh, plenty here. I mean, we got Cybercore going down. Really, I'm guessing though that I'd really like to see a Stalker coming out of that as soon as possible.
Because if he doesn't, oh, there he goes, cancels it.
If he doesn't get a bunker down, that Stalker could single-handedly win the game.
And it could happen. It looks like two gateways finally decides to put 3 workers each on gas. He was operating out of 2 each for quite some time, but now that he knows, I would actually, I don't know, whenever I see an expansion first out of an opponent, I just salivate at the lips, really, and just try to go for just a straight hard push, either a 3-gate or a 4-gate, and just skip one warp in while expanding behind it. Especially if my initial aggression is semi-successful, but the bunker is being put down. Even with this bunker being put down, I still feel a 4-gate would actually be able to take this down. But no, Pref decides to open up with his own Nexus of his own, but it's going to be way late comparatively.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I understand his reluctancy to attack into a Terran that has that's going to be able to build bunkers on the high ground and natural, but I don't really like this decision because he knew how early that was. He knew that there's going to be a very small unit count and unupgraded units for quite a while. A strong 4-gate could have just ended this.
Yeah. Unless
Legion is just amazing at being random, getting Terran, and holding off 4 gates when he goes CC first.
And right now he's actually putting down the second bunker for defense. Very smart play since he knows he is behind in the army value, quote unquote, especially with that early expansion. But really, I would, I don't know. I mean, any kind of drop, any sort of drops out of Pref or any sort of DT play, especially with that double assailment and the fact that the Dark Shrine actually costs less gas, would have been preferred in my opinion. But no, he's gonna stranded 4 gates now after this Nexi is finished up. He does finally have a pylon there for reinforcement armies, and it looks like he's gonna try to attack into this, but with a double bunker, now I'm hesitant to attack.
Yep, that's 2 bunkers. That's really strong defense because they've got 400 HP, I believe 1 armor, and essentially 24 damage with really good DPS.
And now it looks like Legion is shoring up his defenses, just trying to build a wall off with supply depots. Bunkers are being, third bunker is actually being placed down as well. Unfortunately, Pref, that pylon does not reach across his gap and warp in from the side. Do you remember that map? I forget what it was called. It was early on in Wings of Liberty where you could actually build a pylon and then warp in on your opponent's natural expansion on inside of his own base. Do you remember that map?
Is that Shakur's Plateau?
No, it wasn't Shakur's Plateau. It was a different one. But oh, that was just hilarious. You put it right on the edge and it shaved off a couple, and you could warp in 2 zealots in at a time into his own base, and it just drove Terrans insane. Oh, those were good times had by all.
Yep, I mean back in those days, I was in such a low level of play that I never saw that. And it's kind of weird though. I feel like the things that I see aren't as common. Like people talk about Hellbat drops, and during even the heyday of the whole Hellbat drop problem, even in and especially in TVT, I almost never saw it ever. And I was like, okay, what are you guys complaining about?
Don't even talk to me about Hellbat drops. I got hit with those a lot about a month and a half, 2 months ago, and then I just started playing a little bit more defensively. Finally managed to crack that shell not too long ago. So right now it looks like Pref is deciding to go Blink. Interesting choice considering that there are still plenty of bunkers there for defense. Even if he just rushes up, blinks past them, and then gets up into the main somehow, there's still plenty of Marines, and it could actually cut himself off and lose his entire army in the process. I'm not sure exactly what he's planning to do with this unless he has some insane blink micro to try to take down these bunkers one at a time. I don't find it working out too well, especially with those SCVs there being able to repair those bunkers. So I'm not sure what his plan is just yet. We'll just have to wait and see.
Yeah, I mean, well, I believe that this distance over here to the side where the Terran's third base could be, the Mothership Core could provide them vision, and they can blink over here. That distance is easily blinkable. Ooh. I've seen Stalkers blink further than that before, so I did want to point that out to their Protoss players out there. You know, that is a possibility for this map. I mean, it's not. I figure I'll be nice to throw you a bone, but I don't think that's the plan, because he made 4 sentries, which that's about 8 Stalkers worth of gas.
Yeah, sounds about right.
So that implies to me that he's going to be doing some sort of push here. I mean, one thing you can remember that you can do with these sentries is that you can force field the bunkers to where repair is not an option, but I don't think he has the DPS to take these down.
No, especially without any sort of zealot backup. I mean, he has quite a bit of bank. He just finished up with 6 warp gates. Not sure if he's going to use them all just yet, but here it comes. Here come the Stalkers and a single zealot. He really needs those zealots up front, not only to tank the damage, but also to do the DPS needed to these bunkers to be able to take them out. And looks like Legion decides to unload. He doesn't know. Pref is just pushing forward, loses a single bunker. Legion says, holy, I'm going to raise these supply depots just in case, and good idea. And this factory is actually going to scout everything, going to show everything what's going on, and Blink is revealed. Oh, Pref, you don't want to do that usually.
Yeah, because especially if you're like, oh, I'm going to go for a nice drop, he has nothing really to prevent me. Oh, he has Blink. All my dropships died. That's never
oh, and here it comes. It looks like he decides to push out. High ground advantage. Mothership Core dies. Nice forces actually managed to cut the army of Legion in half, but still the army value still favors Legion. Stimmed Marines just steamrolled Pref. No upgrades just yet out of either player. Finally, it looks like Legion decides to get himself in a bit of a trouble, splitting off his forces. Most of his main army is destroyed. His medevacs actually managed to survive a little bit. I would love to see Pref actually focus fire down those medevacs, and Pref is actually following the army of Legion. Why not head into the main? He could have done so. The gate was wide open, and now a little bit of pincher action by these 2 squads of Marines, and they're going to go ahead and give chase. Oh, poor Protoss army in full-on retreat.
I felt bad for that Zealot lagging behind the rest of the Stalkers, getting shot up.
And this Marauder's getting froggy. Finally, the Stalkers push blink forward and take out 1 Marauder, might take out a medevac, and there it is. They're gonna just 1 medevac is down, 2 down. Hey, hooray for small victories, correct?
Yep, that is definitely correct here. He did. That was a little bit better, but I feel like he wasn't macroing back at home in terms of an army. So right now, you know, we've got 11 Stalkers and a Zealot on one side, and 39 Marines and a Marauder on the
Yeah,
other.
so both players a little bit behind on their macro, but 6 gates out of Pref. You could actually stand to put down 2 robotics facilities uh, and then be able to support it quite handsomely. I mean, why not even put down a 3rd and maybe even a 4th base? Just spend that money quickly and as efficiently as possible. But Legion is saturating or getting his 3rd base. Might start rallying his SCVs over. Yep, nice little transfer. Looking at the income tab, we see 68 harvesters for Legion, 46 for PREF. It looks like the mineral count is about even though the disparity in SCVs, but they were all being transferred. Most of them are transferred. As soon as they get busy to mining, I'm sure that number will coalesce into something a little bit more standard. And look at look at the marine count. Oh my, blink away stalkers. And looking back home, it seems like a dark shrine is being put down, and finally robotics facility galore. Something like a little pylon was canceled. And this mothership core needs about 18 more seconds for this photonic overcharge. I would actually love to see a Templar Archives or maybe even Colossi being put down with the amount of Marines there at Legion's disposal. And here come the money force was actually cut the army in half, but the high ground has been taken by Legion with that vision. He's just going to go ahead and push forward and going to wait until these force fields die. And oh, this is terrible. This is trouble.
Yep, I'd really like to, and the mothership core dies before it can get photon overcharge out. It did have
yeah,
enough
it did. Those 3 warp gates finally finish up, but too little, too late. There are approximately 97,000 Marines in your natural expansion. There is 3 Dark Templar, but a single scan reveals them. Game over. Legion knows his stuff. Wow. So I would say this is it for this game.
Very, very much so, but I have been wrong before.
Yeah, you have, but we're gonna say now you are correct. That's it for this replay. I hope you guys enjoyed. If not, leave comments down below on what we could do to make these more enjoyable for you. Also, if you guys want us to cast one of your own replays, feel free to upload them to one of the major replay sites. Drop.sc is very, very popular, as is GG Tracker, currently at Diamond League. So that's it for me. I am out of here.
Tip for the day. Think before you act.